Greetings, this is MaLa Broussard with another MaLa travel guide. You heard it here first when MaLaSpeaks. Everyone, let's report live on the scene. Yes, location. This is a hidden gem. We call these water holes. Yes, we do. So over here to the right here is a water hole. Okay, so yeah. We're at the water holes today. Usually there are just little tributaries where it collects water in it, and just over time it just became a water hole where you get water from. But I don't think you could fish over here. I think people do, but I don't think you're supposed to. But yeah. But, you know, I just want to come up and shout out my friend. I've been rocking this for a minute, and it is filthy. And then on the back, it says fresh. So I want to give a shout out to Filthy Dre for giving me his pullover. That was my birthday present, so shout out to him. Yeah, I rocked this. I really actually thought this was going to be a red, but it is more like a fuchsia, and these words kind of like light up in the dark a little bit, like it's like reflective. It's pretty cool. So the first word was filthy, the back says fresh, and then I'm rocking this other one, says redefine vulnerability. You know, I think segue into that is people try to take advantage of your vulnerability in your certain situations, whether it be work, school, personal, career, whatever that case may be in your life. But do not let people define who you are, because at the end of the day, you to define who you are inside. And that's one thing I want to make sure and, you know, be clear about that. But I'm just really excited, really, for the future, for the upcoming events that I'm going to be going to. Actually, I've been really laser focused on getting out this book, ADNF. So that's what my main objective is at this point. So I'm not really doing too many events nowadays, just because I'm really laser focused on that, to get that out, because I'm going to be getting ramped up to do some actually really cool, awesome things in the future. Some sponsorships going to be coming up that I'm going to be partnering up with some other people about. So it's going to be actually pretty dope, seeing me broadcast from abroad in different states here in the United States, and coming back to redefining my vulnerability and trying to reach a level that I feel that is best for me. You know, I want to still be able to rock my natural hair, still have the sense of myself in what I'm doing and what I bring to the table, because it's a lot that I bring to the table. And I'm bringing a new design of independent media personalities who really want to change the narrative of who they really are, and they need to be recognized as is. You know, I put in work for the past 4 years, doing research, doing social media creation, getting up and really seeking myself into, 1, my genealogy, 2, my family history, and 3, traveling abroad, because being a solo traveler, more of a female traveler, it brings a different dynamic when you go travel and when you go to different countries and cities, because it's just not the norm that you see throughout the day or throughout different countries and different areas. So when I pull up to a town or a city, it's not a norm for a solo traveler, for a woman traveler to be going through these different borders, unassisted by a guide and things of that nature. And thank goodness for all the research that I have done into actually getting all this stuff together, because like I said, these projects that I'm doing, as far as this world traveling tour that I did last year up to this year, it is not easy. Let me tell you, it is not simple. It is not the norm. And this past year was very challenging for me, because I had to have an open mind and I had to have an open heart to what was going on, because of the situation that was going on nationally and internationally at the time during the pandemic era. Some things you just don't plan for, but when you get in that situation and you travel before, you will end up figuring it out as you go through your travels, because you will always, I'm just going to talk about me, I will always find somebody to navigate me to the next level or to next thing. And when you have that confidence to know that even though you're in a pickle, even though it's a situation that is difficult for you to handle, there are other people that will help you along your journey, that will be a blessing in your life. And these people can be your lifelong friends, and you just never know what life has to bring to you. I just want to talk about the controversy behind ADNF. And ADNF really actually talks about my travels. It talks about part of my genealogy. It talks about my identity. It talks about the just personal things that maybe you didn't know about yourself, and maybe things that you didn't realize, that information that people have that are not to the public yet. And these are some things that we talk about in ADNF, because knowing that I am part Vietnamese and part African, it brings up a huge debate and a huge issue with what has been going on with and what was behind the Vietnam War. When you talk about this war, you have to talk about the specific of how those individuals had to endure this chemical put on them in a time where they're fighting for the country. And i.e. my father being one of those people. So when they went in, they didn't realize that what they were going to be forced against, and that when they were exposed to this Agent Orange at the time, it caused a chemical reaction in their body. Okay? And stuff that I have researched in documents I have been able to look at, my findings has shown me that due to this situation, it's always when military or whatever huge entity makes a mistake or makes a huge issue, about doing something to their own people, they hide it, what they have done. And it's just unfortunate that mostly 89% of homeless are veterans. And that is a tragedy among the National Geographic. That is very shameful for the military, for the United States to have that burden on veterans and not giving the resources that they need in order to get themselves back on their feet. You know, and it's just really a lifelong project, because veterans have been a part of my family for a long time. And just military tactics have been in my family. So a lot of my family, that's all they really know. And they've learned some other things along the way, you know. And fortunate enough that I got a pretty good childhood. And but as I grew up, truth started to come out about who I truly was and who my family was, as far as my biological father. And there are things that preventing these issues from coming out, or this thing from coming out about what have to do with the children of the dust. They were supposed to be seen, not heard. They were supposed to be invisible to all of humanity. They're supposed to be silent partners in, you know, their day-to-day efforts and what they did. It was supposed to be a hush-hush situation about these children. And why was it a secret? Who knows? You know, I can't confirm or deny the reason why, but I know these children look like me. And some of these children do know the truth, and some of them don't know the truth. I didn't know the truth until maybe a year ago, to about a year and a half ago. So it was shocking to me to know all of these truths that are coming out. And due to my father's military affiliation came a coup of bandits who wanted to infiltrate that narrative. So with everything that's said and done, there's always going to be somebody who wants to denounce the truth. It's always going to be somebody who don't want the truth to come out. There's always going to be some kind of rebel attack against you not being able to share the truth. It's just like any other country. It's like any other place. It has so many hidden agendas and hidden gems that people, they do not want to know. And we have so many illusions in the world to be consumed with. We have music. We have now we have this pandemic. We have Ebola, like all of these terminal illnesses. We have work not being readily available. We have job disparities that's coming on. We have gentrification that's going on. We got political gains going on. We have people that's losing their houses. We have people losing their apartments and don't have a place to go. There are more homeless people now than there ever has been before. And it's just going to get worse because of this situation. But in all things, they have a root to the issue. Just like People don't want to talk about the transatlantic slave trade. How many tribal ethnic groups were killed during this time that can't be counted? But how my ancestry and forefathers were so determined to make things happen and make things work in this country and out of this country to make sure our DNA survived those dark times. And you just have to, when I went to Ghana, you can tell the electricity and the happy faces of the people that were so glad that we came. Going through that door of return and being a returnee to come back to where they told us we would not return back to this land ever again. Let it be Elmina Castle, Usu Castle, Cape Coast Castle, whatever the case may be, you know, in your ancestry, it hurts. It hurts that people who oppressed a certain ethnic group cannot even apologize for doing their part in making people feel inferior, that they didn't have the knowledge or the know-how to execute certain things, which is a lie. And teachers have been told what to teach us, how to teach us, and criminalize certain ethnic groups to make sure they stay down and didn't get up. I don't care what people thought about me. I don't care what people think about me. I do not care that people think that what I'm saying is incorrect, because it's not. I have looked in documents. I have been there in places that nobody has read the history. I took it upon myself to dig and find. And that's what I'm going to do. It's been my purpose to do this. You can call me a historian. You can call me a traveling journalist. You can call me an editor, a writer. But one thing I am so clear on is that I have seen with my own eyes the truth. I have seen with my own walk through certain places how it truly is, nationally, internationally. Can't nobody tell me if I've been there, and they haven't. You know? So when you know what you know, you know. And I don't care whoever tries to denounce these facts, go look it up for yourself and see if you can find the answers that I found. Because I'm overly appalled and hilariously interested in people who refuse to acknowledge the truth and refuse to hear it. Because I'm going to do what my purpose is. What I'm here on where I'm here to do. That's the responsibility I took upon myself. When I started researching about my genealogy, about my family